We are back. All the plates have been filled. I'm going to move this because. Oh, you got it. You put it over there. All right. We're going to talk about what we ate. I think the egg rolls were definitely a good choice. If you haven't had Doherty's egg rolls,
They're not really egg rolls.
Well, they're rolled.
Right, but don't be expecting.
The external wrapping is that of an egg roll. The interior is what, pastrami and cabbage?
yeah. Can you tell he was an attorney at one time? You still are an attorney, aren't you?
Yeah,
you
I
can
had-
still practice.
Well, my wife makes me keep my license because if she decides to divorce me, she doesn't want to have to support me. So she makes me do those classes.
There you go. All right. You had the chipwich.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't know that it had chips in it.
Oh, it has
Okay.
chips in
It's
it.
called a
got-
chipwich. What did you
I
expect?
thought it was one of those ice cream chipwich things.
I thought chipwich is what they call the sandwich in Ireland.
Okay.
I didn't think it. So I wasn't like, it was like the best cod sandwich ever. It was a really, really great fish sandwich. But I don't like the chips. Like if I order again, I'll say,
Take
want
the
the
chip out.
chipwich without the chips.
Okay.
It was just weird to have chips in it.
Well, there's like people have hamburgers with chips on it,
It
which
was
I don't
it was
care
a
for
great,
either.
great fish sandwich.
All right, thank you.
my French
Cam's
fries.
mom's bringing out more
And my
drinks.
French fries were good too.
They were. Are those French fries or those chips?
No, the chips were in my sandwich.
He didn't like his chips in his sandwich.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah,
He
it
doesn't
is
like it
different.
when his food
It's-
touches on the plate either. It's just,
Okay.
I don't like nuts in my brownies.
Yeah.
Like I like nuts, I like brownies, but I don't want nuts in my brownies. There's no joke here.
Do you like
that I
peanut butter in
can
your
say.
chocolate? I mean, now he's going to tell us he doesn't like Reese's peanut butter cups. Oh my gosh, that's so
It's a
anti-American.
It's a very good chip. How was yours? How was that? What you got?
it was with me so short a time. I don't
Mulligan.
remember.
Mulligan.
What is it? Oh yeah, I had the brisket
Potato
soft
pancake.
taco.
Potato pancakes.
And what were those
Those were just hush puppies.
hush puppies? And
They
how
were
were the
good.
hush puppies?
And I gotta say, the blanched green beans were superior. Those things were high class.
Now, for us that don't know what blanched is, look, Steve's
I
coming
just
out.
found-
Steve's taking off his uniform so I
I
can
just
pretend
found
he's.
out what blanched means.
Yes.
You boil it for a second, then drop it in the cold water, and then
Right.
pull them out, and then they're brightly colored, they're crispy, and they're delicious.
Yes.
And look, we have a complaint about your chip.
It's not a complaint. It's not a complaint. I wasn't. So
He should
it's
complain
not a
about the
complaint.
dim-witted
That-
clients that they bring in this
no,
joint.
that sandwich was 10 out of 10. Like the cod was.
It's the best cod sandwich
I
he's
wasn't
ever had.
expecting chips in the sandwich. I
It's
just
called
didn't
a
know.
chip
I know it's
wedge.
called a chip wedge,
No.
and I know.
Here's a little background on that sandwich. That sandwich was developed as a grab and go from
Food truck.
the food truck.
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
So we wanted something. I mean, we served the fish and chips on the food truck on the paddy wagon, but people were asking us like, yeah, it'd be great if you had something that we could just carry with us and eat.
It
So,
would be great if you didn't put the chips in the sandwich.
but that is.
He's never letting you in.
No, I'm kidding.
You and Kyle's ship are never coming back here again.
Now look, Bobby Flay, who is a famous
He
chef.
goes-
Oh, he-
I've heard
everybody,
of him.
everybody has either heard or knows of Bobby Flay.
Yeah.
Bobby Flay made his name by putting potato chips right on a hamburger. He calls it crunchifying. And Bobby's
If
burger
you go to his
joint.
burger place, exactly.
So I mean, we didn't really take a page out of his book, but you know, we were thinking about how can you get the fish and the chips and the whole thing on a sandwich, and somebody can carry it with them. That was our solution for it.
And I
So
was born and raised in Saratoga. That's where the potato chip was invented.
Oh, was it?
Saratoga.
Okay.
They used to be called Saratoga
yeah.
chips.
So what do you got against
I
potato chips?
just don't want them in my sandwich.
Oh, okay. Well, you can order.
I know, I'm going to.
Next
and
time.
a lot
It was-
of people do order
It was
the
a great fish
chips on the
sandwich, I can tell you.
side.
The cod
or-
was
He
perfect.
also
The cod
doesn't
was
like
perfect.
peanut butter in his chocolate, but we're not going there. Look, we appreciate you being such a great sport after about us giving you such a hard time about everything.
I
Egg rolls
just
were
love
great.
it.
We like the egg rolls.
Yes, we were talking about the egg rolls. Now, there we got in discussion. Well, they're not really egg rolls.
The exterior coating of those is egg roll.
correct.
And the interior is pastrami and cabbage,
Corned beef.
corned beef. and
Corned
cabbage.
beef that we
was
cook
great.
right here in house. That's corned beef brisket. It's first cut brisket, and that is all of that is made in house. The sauerkraut that's in there is not made in house. No, no.
Okay.
We buy that,
Okay.
but we buy that from Boar's.
Okay.
So,
No.
We ought to easily be able to come up with a funny Chinese Irish name.
Yes.
I'm not going there, but we ought to be able
Oh
to
yeah,
come
that's
up
all
with
we need to do. There goes. YouTube's going to take me off there.
I cannot wait to eat at your fellow's restaurant. So,
No, but we were reviewing the food. We really enjoyed the egg rolls. He liked the cod portion of his chipwich sandwich.
The sandwich is a great sandwich.
Okay. Sandwich is a great sandwich. Now
Thank
you
you.
can
And you
tell
can
us
order
about
it
your
however
favorite.
you
That's
want.
good.
Yeah, we're not locked into doing that. If you don't, however you want it.
I would think it wouldn't be too hard to not put the chips.
You
However
could have just picked them off.
I could.
Yeah.
however you want it.
Thank you, sir.
And this goes with anything on our menu. However you want it, that's the way we want to fix it.
I got
So,
the brisket soft taco. That thing was good.
It's not a soft taco.
That's a box tea.
Thank you.
Box feet.
The box tea, it's a potato crepe.
Yeah, but it's folded in half.
Right,
It's
right.
okay, potato taco.
Right. Every culture has a flatbread.
Yes, they do. Just like pierogi.
So, the Indians have nine.
Yeah, no,
You
but
know, we've got
that's an egg roll.
the
This is a
Norwegians
soft
have
taco.
lefse.
Yes.
We got
The Scots have haggis.
well,
You're gonna start carrying haggis?
but that's Scots. So we're friendly.
You call them
Certainly
all the
friendly
same.
with them.
Steve may be opening up a Norwegian restaurant.
They just
soon.
hope the Brit hate the Brits. That's what binds the Scots and the Irish together.
Look, there's a Brit that wants to come in here and enjoy some box tea or
chipwich.
fish and chipwich.
Anything better than
Come
British
on.
food is all I'm
I'm
saying.
waiting for the.
Come on.
I'm waiting for rugby to be on TV. That's why.
When's rugby season?
Seven Nations. The Seven Nations just ended. So.
Oh, okay.
So that's the Super Bowl of rugby. So, but we'll get it going again. And are you still playing?
No, I played for the Raleigh Vipers though.
Right,
That's how
right,
I got introduced
right,
to you guys.
Right. I remember a discussion, and I played for Guilford College
Yep.
back in the 80s, and I was outside lane number 15 because I used to be fast.
You're fast.
I used to be.
I heard you were a DJ.
Doesn't
one time,
doesn't
too.
get out there very often, does it?
That's true. That's very true.
Hey, Guilford,
And,
you were a DJ?
and I always consider Doherty's Irish pub to be the pressure boys of wrestling.
Hey, there's a big event coming up in a few hours. Are you going to have to close down this deck because you don't want people going blind looking at the eclipse?
No, if somebody wants to look at the sun, I'm not going to stop them. I think people, we rely on people to get their glasses.
I can't see
Come
my
on.
bill.
Come out and have a good time.
We didn't have any alcoholic beverages, but what are you finding as being your big sellers here?
Well, the number one selling alcoholic beverage that we have in all three of the clubs is Guinness.
Yeah, and they know how to pour it here, which I cannot tell you. That makes such a great difference.
All right.
That sounds pretty
Tell us the
That
secret of
sounds snooty,
pouring
but
it
it's like-
correctly.
Well, it's not really a secret. It can be looked up. You got to hold the glass at a 45-degree angle.
Right.
It never makes contact with the spout. Guinness has a specialized handle or tap that we have installed, and it's pulled forward on the first draw. The first draw comes up roughly 3/4 of the way, 2/3, 3/4 of the way of the glass, while it's held at a 45-degree angle, and then it's stopped, and then it settles, and it settles for 149 seconds. Then once it finishes settling, you push back on that Guinness spout, and that allows the Guinness to come out without the gas. It just comes down and you fill it the rest of the way, leaving about a 1/4-inch dome over the top of it. So you end up with a head on the Guinness that's
And when it's brought to
Not
you,
like that.
it's still moving. It's
And-
just
and
perfect.
because-
I got a little tear roll when I first got mine here. No, I'm serious. It was not happening in Pittsboro. These are the only people that know how to do
Right.
it. It's not, and you really I mean, it takes a little bit of training to be able to do it.
It does take practice to get it exactly.
So what do you tell
right.
somebody who fails the test? Do you kind of like
Do it again.
put them to the side?
I tell them
You're not ready.
that one's for me.
Yeah. Well, when we were here the other night, we were sitting at the bar, and y'all sold a bunch of the Havoc Limerick, which
Yes.
I was
Yes.
pleased with.
Is that a red, or is that like a
it's an Irish red ale, but the other Irish red ale that is extremely popular here is Smithwick's, spelled Smithwick's but pronounced Smithwick's.
Okay.
And the beer that Havoc developed with us, or we developed with Havoc, or however you want. I don't know how it went, but we. It's an Irish red ale, but it trends more towards Bass.
Okay.
Something that people might be a little more familiar with. It trends more towards Bass than it does Smithwick's, and that's what we make our black and tans with here.
which is another thing that a lot of people don't know how to do is to pour black and tan.
And that's a layered beer. It's not a mixed beer. It's a layered. So you get people think that Guinness is heavy just because of the way it looks, but Guinness is actually lighter. It's lighter than Miller Lite. It'll float. It floats on top of all the other beers because it is light. And people look at it and they're like visually they don't think. They think it's heavy, but it's actually not.
But when I've traveled to Europe and pubs and everything, like people over there treat their beer and the social aspect of beer, like beer just has a different, Americans treat beer differently.
Yeah, we kind of just slurp through it. Where when you go to Europe, people, I mean,
You're having a
it's an
pint to
experience.
have a conversation
Exactly.
with someone, and you know, I mean, I used to have a poster at the rugby house, Guinness, a baby in every bottle, because, like, no, I mean, it was an advertisement for them, right?
Back in the 20s, yeah.
Yeah, back in the 20s, yeah.
That'd be the 1920s.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Right? But I'm just saying, it's a whole different.
And you're upset about chips in your sandwich?
I hope people get that kind of vibe when they come here, because it's about just sipping it and enjoying it with your friends.
Well, Steve, let me ask you another. Again, I'm interrupting, but these guys have, and Hobbs over there has won an award for this whole layout, the SoCo Corner, going from Havoc, and you guys were there for St. Patty's Day, all the way up to this location.
Yep.
What's your sense of the whole corner? And you don't have, your store at Apex is different than this. I mean, so what's your overall sense of what you've seen the last 2 weeks?
Well, the intent, and I think I talked about this last time we had a discussion, was that we wanted synergy. We wanted synergy between all these businesses, all 4 of these businesses that run from us up to the corner, and I feel like we got it, like right off the bat. But it's bigger. It's bigger than that. There's a lot of businesses downtown. We got Scott Cox over here at the ABC store. We've got the pizza place down at Marcel's right down here. There's a consignment shop. The ice cream store.
Yeah.
The ice cream store. Hey, last night there were kids coming in with ice cream cones after dinner. Fantastic. I mean, we sell dessert, of course. I'm delighted. I'm delighted that the kids can go over here half a block and get a killer ice cream cone. It's even more like that feeling. I feel like is even more than what we were anticipating. Everything positive that we were thinking it's been coming to us, and I feel like coming to the community at large. Even more so than we thought.
Well, I think the other thing, you and I briefly touched on this one time, is you're getting folks from outside the community coming in here because of the vibe of this location. Because, I mean, come on, we've talked about this before. 10 years ago, you didn't have something like this.
There's similar places north and east of here. There's nothing like this south and west. I mean, you got to go all the way to Greensboro, Pinehurst to get anything close. So there's a huge void in that section as compared to going that way. Right. So I know they're drawing from a long distance. south and west of here, right?
Well, and Happy was doing that already.
Yeah.
When you go over there were people like, well, we saw it in Chatham magazine or in North Carolina magazine, so we drove from Asheville, and I'm like, I like beer, but I ain't driving from Asheville. They got beer there, you know. But there's people driving from all over the place to come here. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Inspiring.
That's why he won that award.
Let's not forget rugby on TV. That's important as well.
Rugby on TV, but the season's over.
No, it's year round.
Yeah,
You can always find it.
it's kind of like soccer. Yeah, even though like the big, huge, Super Bowl tournament for rugby is over with, there's still rugby being played. So it's like summer sevens. Where they play 7-man rugby against each other. That stuff's probably kicking off.
Are you going to show? Are you going to show?
If I can reach it, I'll put it on the screen. I mean, I had,
I'm in the toughest spot. That's more tough than rugby.
No, what's tougher than hurling is road bowling.
He's making his.
not familiar.
So road bowling is an Irish sport, and you can watch it
I have seen
on public television like after midnight on Channel 4 when I was growing up. And two towns meet. And so they it'd be us and Siler City. So we'd meet for the home meet in Pittsboro. Siler would come here, and you got a wagon that's slapped full of beer. And then you have two giant metal balls that weigh the same. And each team throws the ball, and the wagon's moving down. And it's whichever team can get the ball to the other town first wins. And they drink off the wagon the entire trip.
Yeah, but you would have to expand the social district all the way down the road.
No, but what would be cool is to get Thirsty Skull to sponsor a Siler team, and then y'all sponsor a Pittsboro team, and then all the guys are throwing the metal ball and walk to the side.
Yeah, we need to have an emergency squad following
Close
that.
64 for that. That's
Oh, it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
Totally worth
Yeah,
it.
just so you can be on television after midnight on Channel 4.
I mean, Greg mentioned the social district. That kicked off at the beginning of the month. And I think they started on April 2nd, so nobody would be nobody would be under the thinking that it was an April Fool's joke on April 1st. But April 2nd, that started at 4 p.m. And we are the southern limit of the social district.
Does it go up to the end of this store, or does it go up to the ABC
No,
store?
It drops off like right after.
Do you have your special glasses that you have to have?
Yeah, it's not a special glass, but there is a sticker that we put on there that has our name on it and then has the date on it.
Oh, good.
And we've seen a little bit of it, not a whole lot. First drink I mixed for somebody to walk with was a Crown and Pepsi.
Okay.
So not Irish at all, but somebody wanted to get one and walk. During.
And we know it wasn't Kyle Shipp, so.
So apologies again, Kyle. But if you want to drink and you want to walk with it,
and you can get your sticker too. You need to ask him about the social district. On Wednesday you have your club meeting. Isn't he talking? Kyle Shipp, isn't he?
Yeah, he's our at Rotary at the Postal.
And he's a member too.
Yep. Yeah, he's a
in
member.
good standing.
Yep. Yeah, I have something else I have to do in Raleigh, but yeah, he'll be there.
I know Rotary, they kicked me out for not paying my bill.
I don't know. I'm not a member. I just like to instigate things. Plus,
you guys are doing a great job. Appreciate everything you do.
I appreciate you guys coming by. I appreciate Gene as always. I appreciate the megaphone.
I enjoyed. I was happy with the fact that I was able to convince somebody to do a taste test out here, and she gave thumbs up because I didn't know how that was going to turn out. And she's like, she loved the chips and she loved the fish, so that was a good combination. And the other girl had she had your salmon. She enjoyed that too. Now,
fresh helps. Fresh helps.
Thing up, so I can leave.
All right, gentlemen.
all right, so folks, there's Steve, and again, we gave you a rundown of what we liked here. We're going to finish up. So we're going to let Steve go because he's got something in the fire.